Thank you everybody for coming, and I'd like to pass over straight away to Associate Professor Natalie Lloyd, the Associate Dean Education for the college, who's going to welcome everybody.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you very much, and welcome everybody. I'm just going to share my screen. Not least of which, just to remind me of my own name. Not really. I do know my name. I'm Natalie Lloyd, and I'm the Associate Dean of Education for the College of Engineering and Computer Science. I'd like to begin by an acknowledgement of country. And on behalf of everybody in the call and on campus today, I acknowledge and celebrate the first Australians on whose traditional lands we meet and work, and whose airways over which we are meeting today, perhaps remotely from Canberra, the Ngambri and Ngunnawal lands. I'd like to acknowledge and celebrate those first Australians and the cultures that are amongst the oldest continuing cultures in human history. I pay my respect to their elders, past and present. So you might be thinking, what actually is CECS? What is this living, breathing collection of people and places and experiences that make up CECS? And that's the number one thing. We all get tired of saying College of Engineering and Computing Science, so we always shorten it down to CECS. CECS is made up of a number of different schools: the School of Computing, the School of Engineering, and the School of Cybernetics. And the glue that holds the schools together and enables us to operate as a well-oiled machine and a community is, in fact, our professional services group. And that professional services group are among the many people who support your learning journey at CECS now that you have joined us. And a number of the staff are here today to answer your questions. They help with your onboarding as a student and your transition from a new student to a senior student and on into your future workplaces or study. So I'd like to acknowledge the team and the vibrant diversity of teams that make up the CECS community, and welcome you to that community as an integral part, as a student and partner of the schools and the college. You might be wondering, what does an Associate Dean Education actually do? Well, I get to do some really cool things like welcome you when you first join us and celebrate with you when you leave, when you graduate from CECS, and all of the education points along the way. I'm responsible for the quality and vibrancy of the student experience and the educational programs that you take part in. And I look forward to working with you as an equal partner with the staff and the professional services group to deliver the best possible experience that we can for you. Part of that, and you may see on my background, is this 2022. We're really excited to welcome students back onto campus for those that can join us on campus. I know a number of students are yet to arrive in Canberra, and we look forward to welcoming you when you can. We also know that we are living in a new normal where conditions prevail that we have not had before. So we make the most of the use of technology and the enthusiasm and engagement of our staff to reach out to you in different ways. Hence, some of these activities are in person and others are online. You can rest assured that there's an enormous amount of planning and commitment to making your experiences on campus as inclusive and as safe as possible. The motto and the message for 2022 for the college and the university is resilience and compassion. We know that the students we are welcoming have already demonstrated resilience by achieving at your undergraduate level or at your high school level and coming to this point of joining CECS. We welcome you. We are equally resilient to change and rapid change. And we want to commit to a compassionate embracing of you into our community. When things are not quite going as you expected or quite right, reach out. There's going to be a hand to catch you and to support you. So what does the CECS student body look like? It looks diverse, it looks mixed, it looks like you. We have almost 3,800 active students in our college, and over 500 are new and commencing students. Are you a returning student or a commencing student? Maybe our returning students are in fact commencing in a new way by being able to come onto campus in 2022. There's three elements of CECS that I want to highlight that come under my role as Associate Dean Education. And one of those is transformative educational experiences. We're committed to providing the absolute best educational experiences that we can offer you. And we do that through a dynamic, energetic, and vibrant team of academics and support staff. Here is one in particular who was awarded with a community award for their innovative approaches to bringing in students to online learning. And that was a celebration event at the end of last year. In this video that I'm going to play now, you can see how we integrate on-campus and remote learning in a seamless environment, so that whether you are accessing your learning remotely or on campus, you're part of the community of learners and you can engage in class with your academics equally well. This video has one of our leading academics, Steve Blackburn, presenting.
To have a maintenance. If it's a program, it does.
Thanks there to Steve for demonstrating how we connect both physically and remotely in our classrooms. Another linchpin of the transformative educational experiences at CECS is our emphasis on high impact research and industry engagement. You will no doubt know that ANU is #1 university, and we have that position because of the high impact research. What does that mean? It means research that makes a difference and makes the future better. Research that saves our resources and our planet. Research that works in harmony with industry and with students. You don't have to wait to the very end of your undergraduate degree to be immersed in this culture of innovation and research. You, like Tuan, this engineering master's student of CECS, become connected with this vibrant research community from day one. It's embedded in our teaching, in our courses, and in our classes. We don't want you to be a future leader. We want you to be leaders now, and we provide opportunities for you to do that. Keep your eyes and ears open for those opportunities and leap in, even if you're a bit nervous at the start. We welcome you to take risks and challenges. Here are some images of a final year project. These students create novel products software, and solutions for real-world problems. In fact, real-world problems is one of the terms that I hate, but unfortunately, it captures what we mean. Working with industry and community partners, working with not-for-profits to deliver solutions that make a difference in people's lives. These undergraduate students exemplify that and showcase their work at the end of their project. What are you interested in? What drives you to join engineering and computer science? Look out for those opportunities where you can find out what your passion is if you don't know it already. One of the great things about ANU is that there is a fantastic range of clubs and societies and extracurricular activities. Of course, there's a little bit of balance that needs to happen here. Keep up to date with your studies, make sure that you're connecting in with your classes, but enrich what you're doing. Find out what you love doing, what you want to be through these clubs, societies, and team environments. It's going to build skills that set you apart, like Jess, a user experience research assistant with Google. She reflects that her experience in team environments made her stand out from other graduates. Maybe it's your very first commencement day and you're not thinking about 4 to 5 years down the track. But this ability to connect and work with others is a key skill, not least of which you'll have a heck of a lot of fun as you join in with these activities. Here's a short presentation about some of the options that might spark your interest. No doubt during the rest of the week, you'll have an opportunity to sign up, put your hand up, talk to other students who are already engaged in these activities. Please make use of the opportunities that are abound, connect with the activities that are available, and remember to say hello if you see me wandering around campus, or reach out through any of the other mechanisms that we have, including connecting through social media at ANU CECS. Thanks for listening, and I'm going to hand back to Paul, who's hosting the event. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you very much for that, Natalie. That was actually really wonderful and really, for those who don't know, and probably none of you do, I've only been with CECS for since the middle of last year, and that was just a really nice overview of lots of the wonderful things about this college that I'm still learning about. So I was certainly inspired, and I hope everybody else was as well. That was great. Perhaps the next little part will be less supremely inspiring, because some of the things I'm going to talk about now are some of the important administrative issues that students need to be aware of when they're commencing their studies at a university. And then in about half an hour or so, maybe slightly longer, there'll be an opportunity for students to meet with their program conveners, the person who's in charge of each degree that you're planning to go into and study. At that time, what we will do is we'll open a whole bunch of breakout rooms here in this meeting, and you will be, if you've registered correctly, and don't panic if you haven't, you'll be moved into the appropriate breakout room. However, if you haven't and you want to go into the breakout room for something like the Bachelor of Advanced Computing, then what you need to do is just update your name to include the degree name, and one of the team will move you into that room as required. If you're stuck, if you have any questions, just ask something in the chat, and there's enough people here watching who'll be able to help you out. Okay. And in fact, I can see now I'm going to share my screen. And some of the things I want to go through just really quickly is another little overview of O-week and what's coming up this week, some stuff about some of the important dates coming up, a little bit of information about program advice, which is degree advice, and also what to do if you get a little bit stuck or if you need some help. A few little issues and pieces of information there. This is recorded. There's quite a lot of information here, so don't panic if you don't take it all in. And also, we will be providing all of these links and things that I am going to be showing you. So if you want to follow up later on in your own time, you can certainly do that. So first of all, it is orientation week. And there are two things I want to draw your attention to. I'll actually draw your attention to the second one first, which is the essential modules. Now, there are 4 orientation modules that the university would like all students to do at this hyperlink here, orientation.anu.edu.au/essential modules. It's really important you do those. And if you haven't done them, it would be great if you could get them sorted out during orientation week. They just give you a really good overview of a lot of your rights and responsibilities as a student at the university, as well as helping you grow into the role of being a student here. But what I'd like to do is actually click on this, and hopefully I can share the next screen that opens up. Let me know if that's not working. I think it's not working. Okay, so I've taken you to the CECS Orientation Week page, and there are a huge number of events happening this week. Now, we are updating this page from time to time as new events happen. And it's really important and actually crucial that you get to as many events as possible and find out what is going on this week to help you become oriented to the college and to study here at this university. One thing I'd like to highlight is we have a concierge service. So we are actually offering tours of the college this week. So you can come along, meet a student who's been here for a few years longer than you. They'll show you around the place and introduce you to some of our wonderful staff. There are many, many events. So please go and have a look and just participate as much as you can and go to as many of those activities as you can. Now, can someone give me a wave if they can see my PowerPoint, or am I going to have to change it back? I thought so. Screen share. We're back. Okay. The next thing I really want to draw your attention to is the key dates of the university. There's a university calendar. If you just Google ANU University Calendar, you'll get it. Use the filters, click on the filter to make it say current student, because then it will remove all the dates that aren't relevant to you and give you all of the dates that are relevant to you. I just want to draw your attention to the first few dates that will be coming up if you look at the current student calendar. Obviously, a big one is Monday next week when classes begin. So this week is orientation week. It's when you're getting to meet people, work out what you're doing, enroll in your courses. Next week, classes start. So please keep that in mind. The following Monday at midnight, the 28th of February, is the last moment that you can enroll yourself into courses. So we really encourage everybody to get enrolled in all of your courses for the whole year if possible, but certainly for semester 1, as soon as possible. You can do that through the ISIS self-enrollment system, but after Monday, 28th of February, you can't enroll yourself. And if you do need to get into a course at the last minute, you'll need to get assistance to do that. For those of you who aren't deferring your tuition fees into HECS, your semester 1 tuition fee payments are due on the 11th of March. That's another important date. 14th of March is Canberra Day, which is a public holiday in the ACT. So if you're not from here, you might not know about this one, whether you're from somewhere else in Australia or somewhere else in the world. And on that day, there won't be any teaching. It's a public holiday. So you will need to look onto the Wattle pages, the learning management system for each of your courses to just see what kind of arrangements your lecturers might have made. Some people might have a session for you to watch, a video for you to watch or something. Other ones might have moved your class to another day. So make yourself aware of the arrangements, but don't come today on that Monday expecting to find classes because they won't be on. The last incredibly important date is 31st of March, which is census date. So that's the day after which you're at university, you're enrolled in your courses, you've paid your fees, and really there's no going back. If you want to drop a course, you need to drop it before the 31st of March, otherwise you would not be entitled to a refund, and you would in fact have failed the course if you don't continue in the course. Now, obviously, there are special arrangements for students who get stuck for medical reasons or other things outside of their control, but that 31 March date is incredibly important and you do need to keep an eye on it. Okay, now I'm just going to whiz through some of this quite quickly because we're having a more specifically targeted session about this later on in the week. But I just want to let you know that the student services team here in the college and your course conveners and your program conveners can give you a lot of advice about how to plan your degree, organize your study. What we like to say is to plan so you can finish on time and according to the rules, because that's how you get to graduate. You don't get stuck with having not quite done a compulsory course that you thought you didn't need to do, or you think you're about to graduate and you've got one more course you need to do. So it's really important that you organize your study. The college is going to be running a planning your degree session this coming Thursday. It's going to be a Zoom session so people can participate no matter where they are. And it's going to be quite specifically focused on planning your degree and organizing your study. I will also just draw your attention, I won't click on the link right now, but programs and courses, a new website is the university's handbook, the rule book for your study. And that is where you need to find your degree rules. So if you're unsure about any of that, could be something to raise with your conveners in the upcoming meetings, or certainly raise on Thursday, or make a time to come to one of the many drop-in sessions that the student services team are running this week. There's also some general information about enrollment on the ANU website. Nothing specific about the college, but very useful, broader information about how you enroll in courses, what some of the rules are around that, information about things like permission codes. So there are courses where you can't enroll unless you have a special code that's been given to you by somebody for various reasons. What to do if you need to enroll late into a course, what you need to do if you need to withdraw from a course late, which will be after census date, which is 31st of March. So any of those complex enrollment support issues, please make sure that you get in touch with us. We also obviously can help you with enrollment into project courses and internships. This isn't something you need to worry about right now if you're at the very beginning of your degree. But if you're joining us in Canberra for the first time and maybe you're a year or two into your degree, this might be something you need to start thinking about. And also, even if you're at the very beginning of your degree, it's always a good idea to start planning ahead for some of those really chunky, interesting pieces of work you might do in later years, and just make sure that you maintain space in your degree for them. Now, there will be times, potentially, when you could get stuck and you might have problems. And that's when you start to worry about whether or not you're progressing successfully, if you've got problems with how your courses are going, or you think maybe you're in the wrong degree. All of those kind of issues can impact on your progress, and we're here to help you. And there are a multitude of different things we can do to support you, and a whole bunch of different support services that can help you out. So I think what I do want to do is actually just have a quick look at some of these web pages, because they are really helpful for you. So I'm going to take you to the academic skills page briefly. So the academic skills page is a service provided by the university that can provide you with all sorts of useful information and support to really improve your output as a student, as well as your learning. So it can teach you academic reading skills, writing skills, how to work in a team, how to work on your own style of writing, English language support. There are many, many, many offerings from this part of the university, which is located in the main library building. And I really encourage you to go and have a look. Even if you're in your later years, sometimes it can be very helpful to get some specific advice on things like writing a report or a research project report, because depending on what discipline you're in, where you're studying, you might find that there's some specific expectations that aren't always super clear. And if they're not clear, you need to find out what they are so you can get the best possible outcomes for yourself. So I will move away from that. And I just want to first talk about access and inclusion and the EAPs. So it's a slightly painful screen sharing, but I think this is important. So there are many students for any number of reasons. You might have difficulty accessing your learning. And access and inclusion is a university service that can help you mitigate that. And I just want to really stress that it's really important that everybody understand that access and inclusion is a incredibly confidential and personal service, and it's compartmentalized. It's separate from the rest of the university. So it's a very, very safe and welcoming environment for you if you have any kind of problems that you think could impact on your ability to study. Now, often people think about something that, very learning related, like I have a particular learning disability and I need to go and talk to them, but it may just be somebody's got a broken arm or a broken leg and they can't take, if you have a broken arm, you can't take notes in class and you only need assistance for a few weeks. They can help you with that. Or you may have caring responsibilities, which just has a big impact on your time management, and they can help you with that. So if you have any concerns about your ability to be able to participate in your learning at the university, I encourage you to go to the Access and Inclusion website, have a look at what they do. You can make an appointment to meet with them. You can get registered with them. And where appropriate, they will help you develop an education access plan. And that is a personalized plan that is used to help support you to have the best possible learning experience. And I just want to stress once again that whatever information is used with yourself and one of the staff in Access and Inclusion to develop your education access plan is private. It's assessed only by people in that team. It's not available to anybody else in the university, and it is not referred to in your education access plan. Your access plan provides the supports that you need. It does not give the reasons for why you need those supports. This is actually a huge relief to staff, academic staff and professional staff, because we also aren't professionals in the counselling or the medical or any other social welfare type space. And we can't support you with those kind of issues the way other people can, but we can certainly support you in your education once you have an EAP. So EAPs are very valuable and worthwhile to students who need them. And it's absolutely in your interest to register with this fine group of people if you can, if you need to. The last page I want to show you is, again, more support services. And this is one that I would encourage students to bookmark. If I can make it open. And these support services are updated from time to time. This is the current 2022 information. So it has a slightly funny breadcrumb approach to it, but this is the most up-to-date list of all of the supports that the university can offer you. Obviously, if you need immediate support, then you need to seek immediate support. But there are many, many other forms of support that are available to you, and they're all listed on this page. From the obvious things you might think of, like I need to see a GP or I need to see a counsellor, through to information that can help support you more holistically. So there's a huge amount of information in here, and it's useful to just cast your eye over it so you know what's there and you know what is offered now, so that if you are having a moment of stress or anxiety later on in the semester, you can remember that that support service is there and you can go and find out more about it. Obviously, again, also you can ask any member of staff who would also be able to direct you to this information. Okay. I think I'll move to the next slide now. And I just wanted to give you some quite specific information about the appeals process, because in the course of your degree, in the course of all of your studies, there may be a time when you're not sure if the mark that you got is the mark that you think you should have got. And a lot of students do want to know about this. I think the key thing to remember at all times is that communication is vital. You have to make sure that you are maintaining really good communication with the people who are assessing your work, whether they're tutors, lecturers, or the program conveners. And I want to draw your attention to the fact that there are some really clear guidelines and instructions about how we do this. So very generally, if you get a result either for a particular course or for a task in a course, maybe just one assignment, and you're just a little bit confused about how you got the mark that you got, the first thing you need to do is just have an informal discussion with the course convener. So that's stage one of the process. And it is quite informal. And if you can reach any kind of an outcome and a resolution at that point, that's excellent and usually the quickest way to resolve things. However, if you are not happy with whatever is resolved at that point, or if it's just too complicated, which is often the case if there's medical issues or other things that are impacting on your result, then you can go through a formal appeal to the Associate Dean Education, who we've all met now. And there's also a third stage of the appeal, which is to the College Dean, which is fairly rare, and it's a procedural appeal. I would really encourage anyone who wants to appeal their results for anything to have a look at the rules around that, and also have a look around the complaints resolution policies of the university, and make sure they're well prepared, because if you do want to appeal something, it will be in writing and you will need some documentation for it. That can be quite intimidating. It can be quite scary. Because of that, there are a number of pathways you can take that can help you out. So there's the Dean of Students, who is a senior member of the university's academic community. And their job is to help students advocate for themselves and to advocate for you as well. So that is a completely independent path that you can take if you need advice about anything at all of your entire student life. But often it's where people go to get advice about academic issues. I also can draw your attention to ANUSA and PASA. So ANUSA is the ANU Undergraduate Students Association. So if you're any bachelor degree students or diploma students, ANUSA are the people that can help you out, give you advice about these things as well. They have some staff who are experienced and trained in these matters. And there's also PASA, which is the Postgraduate and Research Students Association. They can also give you advice and support and help on these issues. I'd also draw your attention to the university's code of conduct, because, and I'm not saying you've been naughty, I want to point out that for a lot of students, particularly in project work and group work, if you're working with other people, it can impact on your studies, and you can impact on their studies if you don't deal with each other in a professional, collegial, and respectful manner. So sometimes issues of your studies can actually, overflow into your life. So it's another important piece of university policy that it's useful to be aware of, and to make sure that you understand both your rights and your responsibilities, particularly when you are involved in a complex matter. So when it comes to your study, what we really want to say, the key thing we want to say, is that you really need to maximize your ANU experience. I know the Associate Dean Education early on here talked about some of the excellent ways you can add depth, breadth, and make your study here much more personal and much more representative of your own personality. And I really want to encourage everybody to take those opportunities and do more than just attend your courses, do your assignments, go home, have a part-time job, whatever it is that you do, and really dig into some of the other opportunities that exist. Now, I will actually ask my colleague Janelle Ireland to go over this page in a little bit more detail, because this is her area of expertise, the student experience and the employability space, and she's going to have some really useful advice for you.
Thanks, Paul. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. It's super exciting to have the opportunity to capture you all on your first day of O-week, and hopefully it's not going to be too overwhelming for you. As both Natalie and Paul have said, university offers you so many opportunities to engage both in your academic life, but there's so much on offer and to get involved in both in a co-curricular space, so sometimes for credit, but also just alongside your studies. An important message before I sort of, you start getting a big list of all of the things you're going to start doing. An important message really is to give yourself an opportunity to settle in. Don't rush to fill your days with lots of social and other activities, although it's incredibly important that you do try and connect with peers and feel settled. But recognise that for many of you, you will be here at university for 2, 3, 4 years, so you don't have to tick all of the boxes on the very first day. As you'll see that there's a number of activities mentioned on the slide in front of you that you can get involved in to maximise your university experience. I will just very quickly mention that the reasons why we encourage you to maximise your experience is to enhance your education. So Paul mentioned and Natalie mentioned projects. There's opportunities for you to get involved in some of our student societies where you can start to apply your technical skills, but you can also start to build leadership skills and just general experience with working interactively in team environments. And all of this leads, whether we realise it or not, towards building our employability as well. And while I'm sure and I hope many of you have chosen study here at the ANU based on your passions and your interests, the reality is that all of us are probably thinking about, well, what am I going to do with my degree once I graduate? Some of you will have a very firm idea already of what that's going to be. Others perhaps less so, and that's completely all right. University is your time to start to explore, understand yourself, and start to understand what options are available to you with your degree and what pathways are out there. So I will not go into terribly much detail other than to mention that there are opportunities for you to take on leadership roles and contribute in your classes. Class representatives is one element of it, and it also has a flip side that is worth mentioning to you, that there will be an opportunity for you to all nominate as a class representative for one of your classes. Again, great leadership experience if that's what you choose to engage with. If you're not sure that that's for you at this moment, that's fine, but also recognise that there is going to be someone in each of your classes who can help facilitate between you and your course conveners if there are any challenges in the classes. So just very quickly, your degree and your time here at the university will be filled with opportunities that can involve mobility, which might be exchange or once borders fully open, opportunities to have some short course experience overseas, project courses that can really give you tangible experience to pop straight on your resume, to really talk about in an interview with an employer about how you've practically applied your skills in context. Internships, there are opportunities within both engineering and computer science for some full credit internship experience later in your degree, both at undergraduate and postgraduate levels. So you can start to look out for those. I won't get Paul to go straight to the page. I don't know if we've got time, but the link on the page here, and I can share it in your chat, will take you to our opportunities and projects page, which will have some further information about how to get involved in these activities. I will just also mention that, say, internships with full credit that I've just mentioned now, where you can count that towards your degree. Many students will ask about, well, how can I get experience in all paid employment alongside my studies? So I'd highly recommend that you look into perhaps casual employment or volunteering from first year if you're not already volunteering or working in a casual job, because these can be great ways to build experience that again will stand you in good stead for formal internship and paid summer vacation opportunities down the track. Lots to think about there. We do, within the College of Engineering and Computer Science, send out a monthly student opportunities newsletter. We send that to our ANU emails, so please make sure that you check your ANU emails regularly. We do advertise employment opportunities as well through the ANU Career Hub job system, which I'm sure you'll hear about from the ANU Careers team throughout this week at O-week. So there will be opportunities for you to connect with the ANU Careers team, with the other services that Paul's mentioned already through the week, and of course with our wonderful clubs and societies. So within the College of Engineering and Computer Science, we do have some great student societies who offer fantastic support and peer support to current students, but there are also opportunities for you to take on leadership roles in those societies and any others across the university that again will help you follow your passions and potentially lead to employment pathways that you might not have even thought of just yet. So I will be around for questions if anyone has them later as well, but I'd just like to wish you all the best, and I encourage you to connect with us through our O-week activities through the rest of the week, and wish you all the best once you start your studies. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you very much, Janelle. And there you go. That's the end of this little section on some of the administrative processes.